Hello everyone, in this practical video I will show you how I mount Intel 12th generation CPUs depending on the cooler I'm going to install. So this is a CPU install bracket, and this is made to avoid the issue with the 12th gen default Intel bracket, which by applying a lot of pressures on these points will actually bend the CPU in the middle and make it for an uneven contact surface. But what I do with this kind of systems, as I build them in scale, is that I just unscrew the 4 screws a little bit, depending on what kind of cooler I am going to use. That is because this kind of mechanism, this Titan parts, are made to make sure that the CPU pins are perfectly contacting with the LGA socket, and so this system can actually boot up without any kind of cooler, without any pressure from the outside, only the bracket, the bracket clamp pressure. But actually, when you mount a CPU cooler on top, the CPU cooler itself will act as the pressure and keep the CPU connected to the pins on the motherboard. So the amount of energy that the CPU cooler will put on the CPU depends on the kind of cooler I'm using. So in this kind of scenario, I'm using a 12400F, and I'm going to use the Intel stock cooler. Therefore, I am unscrewing just a tiny bit here, because I will still need the clamp, the bracket power to tighten the CPU. So I will just proceed to slightly unscrew the socket around here. But if I am going to use any kind of like decent, huge air cooler with a powerful mounting system, I can unscrew them much more. Keep in mind that at this point the system will not boot. I mean, with this kind of small unscrewing, it will probably boot anyway, no problem. But if you unscrew them more, you will see that the system is not able to boot without the cooler on. Now, is that something that you should try? So yeah, this way you're not gonna lose any warranty, because you're not actually taking out anything from the motherboard. And if you have to RMA anything, you just screw back to the normal tightening and you're done. So we'll now test the performance of this modification by using the stock cooler. We'll see how it performs in terms of thermals and benchmarks. System is booted. We're now going to make sure that power limits are unlocked. So we're gonna see 2 power limits enabled. I'm gonna put 88. So this should give you good Cinebench scores. And here we have, the score is perfectly normal for this CPU. So I will run the test again to show you. Temperatures are super low, 50 degrees. The fan is spinning very quiet, and yeah, the score is perfectly in line. We're only using 60 watts. I really understand it seems to be artificially capped to 60 watts, but it's not, because the score is perfectly in line with the expectation. As you can see, that is the score of every 12400F that I ever tested. So you can see for yourself, this trick works very well. What else to say? Oh yeah, turn on XMP. Yeah, so you don't really need an aftermarket cooler for a 12400F or even a 12500 if you just do this little trick. And this is all. Ciao.